You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
I'm Joey.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Chris.
Wait, I guess I'm Alex.
Welcome to episode 57 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
See, it's fun, though, when you mix up names, though. I just wanted to make sure they...
This is a podcast where we talk about gravel bikes, and I threw this in for this week, dirty bike adventures.
Yeah.
I like that. We're a travel and road show. We are in Frederick, Maryland at, what's the name of this place? Dublin Roasters?
Yep.
Dublin Roasters on North Market Street. And today joining us, we have Alex and Chris Howell of Dirty Kitten Gravel Race fame. So Alex has been the team manager at Vanderkitten-Entourage Racing, and along with Chris, they co-direct or co-directors of the Dirty Kitten Gravel Race in Rapidan, Virginia in July. Welcome, guys. It's good to have you here.
Hi, guys.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
You guys get to be here for the whole shindig,
I
the
know,
whole
right?
mess, the whole muck up. You get to witness all of it. Also, over here in the corner, we got Larry on the air in the background. Larry came down from Morgantown, one of our longtime friends, longtime listeners, Patreon supporters. Thank you, Larry. You're welcome. We came down and had lunch with Larry, and Larry said, "Hey, I want to sit in." And so we got muscle this week.
Muscle.
He's also a dirty kitten racer, right? Yes, Larry.
Right on, Larry.
I met Larry in a parking lot last year.
That's a weird thing to
Were
say.
your pants on?
Actually, no. Yeah, they were because I went to dine that day.
That's always a valid question.
Are your
Joey.
pants not on sometimes when you're in a parking lot?
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into anything else, we do have a thank you on Patreon. Isn't that right, Joey?
Yeah, is this the same Jesse as the last week?
Yes, but he came in during...
Oh, yeah. So Jesse from Pottstown, PA, joined like literally in the middle of our last recording. So I haven't got everyone else's cars are up to date. Yeah. He's going to get a hand
Still coming?
letter. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't he supposed to get, like, triple stickers?
No, if
No.
you
because you
double
joined during the
stickers.
podcast, you get triple stickers.
Yeah, we said that last week.
Okay.
If you join while we're recording a podcast, then you get double stickers.
Make sure people know that there's little tiny baby stickers in the envelopes and not to throw the envelope away.
Oh.
You got to search for the little ones.
Tiny little ones are in there.
I like the little tiny ones. They go well on a helmet.
They're awesome.
Little baby stickers. Little tiny baby stickers like
I
Baby
didn't read the
Yoda.
small print on the when I ordered those.
Not to scale. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
So we came up a little bit early to Frederick and went to, what was the name of the place? Jojo's Tap House.
Get back, JoJo.
Just a random luck of the draw. You guys had a beer there. What'd you drink? What'd you have?
I forgot who made it, but I had a cookies and cream milk stout.
Is that what it was? Was it really cookies and cream?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
it was
realize
good,
that.
too.
It was actually good.
What'd you have?
It was some breakfast milk stout, which was also really good. It tastes
Okay.
like maple
Yeah, his
syrup.
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in training. So
Larry had what was that funk?
some hazy
called the
IPA.
Funk?
Was that an IPA, Larry?
Larry's got the funk.
Yeah, had
Yeah.
the funk. So right now we're all drinking iced coffees and all sorts of.
You're not. You're drinking like some fancy. chai tea
I'm having
latte.
a dirty chai tea.
Yeah.
Latte.
That's fitting.
Yeah, that's truth, right? I didn't even think about that. That's excellent.
We're also in the bunker room. So
We are.
Yeah.
definitely say it.
We walked
Explain
around
that.
the corner and Alex got this great little like back room that's connected to the kitchen here at this place. It's like a little conference room.
Yeah,
It
full service.
kind of looks like a basement that you would see on, what's it?
This is where we die. Yeah.
On a horror movie.
No, it reminds me of the basement in that 70s show.
Oh, yeah.
With like the strange furniture and table and everything sitting around. It's kind of weird.
It's weird, but it's cool. Yeah.
We got some swag this week, and I wanted to send a couple of shout-outs. At Swift Velo on Instagram sent us some absolutely insanely large water bottle stickers and some silly pints. John is the general manager of Bicycles in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we're going to actually be able to say thank you in person at Croatan.
It's just funny. I was down there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We're getting all kinds of emails from people saying that they're going to be at Croatan. So excited to see folks there. And those water bottles. Didn't you put a picture on Instagram of those water bottles?
On our story, I got to take a better picture.
Yeah.
If Frankenstein was a water bottle, that's what that
It's
that's what it would look like.
I think the top part of that water bottle was bigger than the
It's
bottom
like bigger
part.
and wider. Yeah.
Never
They,
seen anything
it's
bigger
awesome.
than that.
It looks like the PBR logo.
Yeah.
And Jess has been taking it to the gym in the mornings. I was like, oh.
We also got to send a thanks to Ted Image 360. Ted's our bestie, and he sent us some really super cool laser engraved pieces of slate with our logo. And then did he send some more with like our names on them or something?
No, the boxes. They came in boxes with like laser engraved boxes.
Oh.
Yeah. The boxes are just as cool.
Joey hasn't given me mine yet, so I'm still kind of flying
by. To be
by.
fair, it took Brian like a month to bring us our Dirty Kitten hot sauce.
Or 6 months, actually.
Actually, it was like
it took
6 months.
Forever.
That's I just wanted to make sure to say.
Do we ever give a real shout out to Tom for our GTD cups? Well, I got a cup.
I think so.
I've drank from it.
We posted a picture, but we never said anything.
No, yeah, you posted the picture, so go ahead.
No, he like water. What did he call that? He took like a beer cup and
etched.
was able to like etch at home.
A pint glass.
Yeah, pint glasses. Apparently, it's really cheap.
Y'all get some cool stuff.
Yeah.
We do. Too bad none of it's money.
Yeah, you should work on that.
No, actually, I do joke. Our Patreon patrons,
People are
I think,
awesome.
and you guys are Patreon patrons, so thank
Yeah,
you.
you
Not
get
after
ones
today.
of dollars from
Yep.
your
Yeah.
Patreon patrons.
It works.
We upgraded some equipment.
I think I should
with it.
upgrade my contribution.
You be you. We like money, though.
I feel bad.
No,
Hey, but-
not at all.
We did add another microphone so we could do this
Added another mic. Yep.
from our Patreon
Yep.
supporters.
So we could go road showing. And this isn't the first time, or the only time we're going to do this. We've talked about this before, but I want to make sure Croatan is going to be the first event where we are going to be recording that week's podcast episode on location at Packet Pickup.
Woo!
Yep.
Does
Yeah.
Matt know this?
Neat.
Well,
Hey, Matt
what
Hawkins, hope you're
well,
listening.
what I did say earlier was, I'm like, hey, can we order like 40 pair of socks and
And no, by the way,
and also be
by the way-
there.
yeah, well, I need to order a lot of socks for our store to match our jerseys. And by the way, can I set up a tent?
so Joey, what have you been up to this last week? Bring us up to
This
speed.
been a lot. Like, it's technically a day shorter, but it feels like it's been forever. So I got Wes living with me full time, which is cool. I have 2 of my bikes are out of commission. So I've donated parts.
Know how that
And
feels.
I haven't ordered anything, so we didn't ride today. I think that's been about it.
It's the first Monday. We haven't done a Mow Monday in a while.
Yeah, but I need a break every so often.
Yeah.
She gets old.
Prime rib tonight.
Y'all should have come out and we could have ridden some loco gravel this morning.
Well, we were.
It's like 65
Well, so
out
since
there.
I'm the only capable mechanic in the room, I'm the only one with working bicycles right now.
Okay, so Wes and I would have ridden
Yeah.
this morning.
And you would have been gone in like 2 minutes.
Wes will be like freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian. Brian destroyed his
Well-
GRX Di2. I
Yeah.
literally ripped.
It's
the
coming
door-
back to
derailleur
life,
off.
though.
Yeah, we're gonna Frankenstein it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gave away some rotors and stuff because people wanted to ride yesterday over the weekend. So I donated parts just for people to use.
Well, it should be about time for you to buy a new bike, anyways, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I bought a new used bike. I needed
Actually, he just did.
I got like an old Crux to do these events on.
Yeah, you need to dial that bike in, though, right?
I'm getting it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did. I have no idea. I was really. I mean, seriously, we joke about this, but
You're
it
going to
was
say it out
JRA.
loud. Say it.
I was JRA, just riding along, and I think that the derailleur was heard it ticking, and I've never heard it tick before.
That's when you stop.
Okay, well, that's lesson 1. But I was thinking this through in my head, and I talked to you, Joe. Remember the theory I gave you? So I had
Aliens.
a problem. No,
You had like 4.
no. I think the most plausible.
Problems or theories?
Theories.
So I think what happened is the derailleur had gotten unplugged. And so I'd called you because it was flashing all kinds of crazy
Yeah.
things.
That's
I
crash
plugged
mode.
it back in. No, I plugged it back
No,
in.
this is before.
This is before. I plugged it back in, and then I think in hitting all the little buttons, because I just started hitting buttons.
It's like a computer. You just hit stuff.
Yeah. So I just started
So-
tapping buttons. And so I think what happened is it went into manual,
yeah.
and then I was big ring, and I tried to go big ring in the rear of the cassette, and I just have too much power
So
in my legs.
before the listeners start like
That's the
other
problem.
bike mechanics are, "Rah." So out of Brian's permission, we went up to a 42 tooth. We went bigger than the range of the derailleur,
Yeah.
but we also Brian's. I'll never switch it out of the synchro mode so that he can't go that combo, which has been fine.
So I think it just happened.
So
I think that's
you
what
went into
happened.
the combo and it's not your fault. And
Whoa.
that's what happened.
Wait a minute. If it's not my fault, that's a warranty issue then?
No, it's not.
You should contact your local bike shop about that.
Wes, what have you been up to?
Well, I had an incident shaving this morning, so now I have a mustache. It's probably my biggest news.
Just a mustache.
Yeah, just a mustache.
And it's definitely not creepy at all.
It's like 20% creepy.
Yeah, it's probably more than 20.
But
You scared me this morning when you walked up in the driveway. I was like, who's that wandering around in my driveway?
Can I help you with anything? Yeah. No,
You guys, what have you been up to?
Oh man,
Where are you in the mix?
we've been getting everything ready for registration opening for the race. We got women's camp coming up in April. We're launching our business.
Wow.
Man.
Chris is working.
And we did manage to ride bikes a couple times.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, we're riding bikes. We actually rode yesterday in Loudoun County. We did 25-mile
Nice.
loop. Pretty
Nice.
awesome.
I feel like I saw a lot of people riding Loudon yesterday on Insta.
Beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's even better now. The day's gorgeous
Yeah.
out right now. It's like, what, in the mid-60s?
Yeah, I can't wait to get out of this room.
We're
I know.
the golden age of global warming. So a little bit of news of the day. Rest in peace, Dirt Rag.
Man, you didn't even give him a good
Magazine.
send-off.
I do that again. Rest in peace, Dirt Rag magazine and Dirt Fest and the website. All three.
We're going to pick up
Gone.
Dirt Fest right where it left off.
Think so?
I think we caught something different.
Now would have been a time to do it, though.
Yeah. So a moment
Gravel
of silence.
Fest.
A moment of silence. Can you guys be quiet and long enough for a moment of
No, but you can
The
edit it.
arms of an angel. Yeah.
So too bad for Dirt Rag. That is an institution that's been around for a long time, and a lot of people will miss them. I was never really a big Dirt Rag reader. You
No.
guys? No.
Well, I mean, that's the problem right there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that
Print is dead.
the way they did it's all about the business model. Don't talk to me about that. It's all about the business model. It's all about the business model. It's almost all about the business model.
I just can't read.
I'm surprised that they dumped the website though. I mean, that seems like somebody would have said, "Hey, I'll take that."
Yeah.
And kind of keep that
Like
going
have
because they had the
sold it or
forums,
something.
right? They had the forums and they had all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
going. I thought that was pretty
Just
active.
a clean cut.
May have been too much, or maybe they have other plans.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe just too. Yeah, I think it was too much. You
All good
see-
things come to an end.
Maybe they'll
that.
put more events on.
True that. No, I think that's done.
It
too.
was a hostile takeover by Pink Bike.
Oh,
I like that. So I don't know if we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we are going to be recording an episode at Croatan. So this is maybe our first road show, but it's not going to
Not
be
our
our last road show. More details on that are going to be forthcoming. But what we really want to have when we come to events is we want to have listeners that are willing to join us. Or you don't even have to be a listener, I guess.
No.
You can just see our microphones there and go, "Hey, I want to talk, and I can." So they just jump up there.
but
and
you have to
into the
talk
box.
like that.
Hey, bringing out some voices for this. I'm here to talk about. I'm an internet
You
cyclist.
kind of look like a
Fat
Muppet.
Albert. Yeah.
I kind of look like a Muppet all the time. Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to need a new character drawing that's Brian as a Muppet.
Oh, yeah.
Big Muppet puppet. But no, so Croatan, others. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss Dirty Kitten. I'm in New York again. I know.
That's all right. We offered.
I found a loophole. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go on vacation right after the ride.
I talked to Jess. Did she tell you?
Yes.
All right, cool. I was like,
Now I'm bribing her to camp. Larry brought up today. He's like, "Are you guys going to camp?" I'm like, it's probably like the perfect place for her
to jump in.
to
That.
jump in. No, I know. Yeah, Jess
Yeah.
is not big on camping.
Yeah.
well, there is this very rustic cabin on site that the staff stays in. So if Jess comes like knocking at the door at 2 a.m. and wants to crash on the couch, we'll allow it.
Once she gets
But
to
just her.
sleep, she'll be fine.
So we did get we got some email this last week, and for sake of brevity, I'm going to go into one, and then we're going to hold on to some of the other emails. So if you sent an email this week and this one wasn't yours, come back next week. I got an email from Jeff, and Jeff gave me some feedback. We had asked that question about USAC and UCI, and I just want to read it, and then we can respond and jump in. I was listening to your last podcast, and you guys were talking about USAC and UCI getting involved in gravel events and wanted to hear from promoters about their thoughts. I promoted multiple cyclocross and crit races in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. They were all USAC races because racers wanted the points to count towards license upgrades and cyclocross nationals. As for USAC, they did nothing for me as a promoter. They just took my money. I would have dumped them in a second if it wouldn't have affected rider turnout, and I hope all gravel promoters strongly resist any intrusion by the governing bodies. Any reaction?
So the funny thing, because I think Ted King, our boy Ted, put it in that one article that he's interested in a point system. Because when the USAC thing came up recently, and he's one that he said he was interested in a point system, but I don't know if it's towards upgrades or just like an overall like World Cup kind of thing.
Some kind of way to make it official?
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise, I think
I have kind of a balanced view on this because we've done Dirty Kitten as a non-USAC event. I've directed a cyclocross race as a USAC event, and I race both sides. I race gravel, I race endurance mountain bike, and then cyclocross and road stuff. I appreciate to some extent USAC's involvement on the cyclocross and road side, because I want to race in categorized races where I'm competitive. But I think on the endurance side of things and the gravel, that long stuff, I don't really need that skill-based category to compete, because you get kind of the accomplishment completely, of
it's
like
different.
that you're competing with yourself to an extent. Yeah. Like I'm not going to win one of those races. Like if Ted King shows up to a race, I'm not going to win. If Jeremiah Bishop shows up, like I know I have no chance. They're going to be hours in front of me a lot of times.
It's not true.
But
they could mechanical.
That's true. but I still get something out of competing and beating my better time.
Yeah.
And I do totally agree. I think from a promotion standpoint and logistics and like running the show, the involvement with USAC doesn't bring a lot. So until they step up their game on that a little bit, I don't know that they have a lot of benefit in the gravel scene.
That's a very valuable viewpoint coming from somebody that's raced and promoted both non and sanctioned events. That's a very balanced. You'd said it was a very balanced approach, and I do think that is a very balanced approach.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like to race and compete and try and win when I can, and that's a cool thing that comes from the the Cat 1 through 5 system and getting to go out and race those guys, but it don't always need it.
So if you think it shows up, do you think if there's some reason that promoters they really get their arms twisted, and they literally almost feel like they have to jump on board, does it change the sport? Does it change the gravel endurance and gravel race mindset and the culture by bringing that influence in?
I mean, it could possibly, but I don't see anything right now that would twist promoters' arms like that would ever require them. It's been growing. They don't need it for growth.
There you go. That's the point.
Maybe if it's too big, they bring them in to slow things down a little bit.
we need USAC to come in and muck it all up, just like Wes. No, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got anything? I got nothing to add to that.
I kind of like the fact that somebody goes and rides an event, and if they want to race it, they can race it, and then all of a sudden they've won it for that year. And I kind of like that person holds that title for the year until the race goes on next year.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of fun, like a more fun way to do it,
I fear the day that
keeps it more local. I don't know. It has kind of a homegrown feel to it. And I like that. I think that's the whole point of why people like the events that they're going to.
Yeah, and it's we've talked about it a lot. It's like that culture is very cooperative. It's very, it's chill, and to take that away, I think that's the one thing that it could take away.
Yeah.
And the first time you see somebody go flying by a salsa chase because they don't want to stop because of 30 seconds.
I saw that unpaved this year.
Really?
One guy.
Because of time, or because he's just like, I don't want to do that?
It seemed like a grouch.
There we go.
Well, the woman who won the women's category, they put her to the front of the line, and she still got her picture on the couch with a chase, and then went.
That's what Mike said. That's what the kid said. He's like, if you come up to that and you're racing, we're going to put you in the front of that line. He's like, we're going to do that,
which is awesome.
Yeah. But there's also that mindset of I don't want to break my stride. I don't want to do whatever because it would take me off my bike, and then I got I don't know. That's
fine. Let them be. They can ride that ride, and the guy that got off his couch just for the first time in 3 weeks, then
he can
go ride it that week too. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I think that's what people like about gravel is that it's different, and it's sort of like it's not unified. I think that to me is part of what people love about the gravel scene. We had an opportunity to do a Virginia gravel series with some of our fellow race organizers and friends this year. And we decided that we didn't want to do that because at least the way that series usually work, you have to have some kind of, it has to be unified in the sense of the categories and there's a point system. And we just kind of felt like that would take away from our event and the whole just like idea of what a gravel race is. And so we actually opted out of that and decided like, yeah, we can cross promote our, each other's events and help each other out. But like, let's not make it this formalized series because then we're kind of getting it's too much like how road racing is. And that's something different. And gravel isn't that. And so, and it maybe shouldn't be that. And so I think maybe that's part of the whole, argument or issue with bringing USA Cycling or some kind of governing body in is like, then it becomes too structured and too formalized and takes away from like the essence of what gravel racing and adventure racing is about.
And the only reason I feel like they're both wanting to jump on the bandwagon is because it is a bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because it's money and it's the popular thing and they're trying to increase their own relevance.
There was a funny article in Cyclocross Magazine back on April 1st, 2015 that we reposted on our Dirty Kitten page. And it was like, have you read it?
No, but
it was entitled, keep in mind this is April 1st, USA Cycling to organize National Gravel Series, regulate gravel racing and bikes. And it's this whole article, spoof article about like how USA Cycling's planning on
I need to read that.
like structuring gravel racing. And it's like, the governing body will define gravel as 1, no single track is allowed. 2, stones and pebbles may not be larger than 1 centimeter in diameter. 3, no section of sand can be more than 4 centimeters deep. 4, dirt roads without visible gravel may only constitute a maximum of 10% of the course. And it just goes on like that. Like it just becomes very like ridiculous.
I can see that's the kind of stuff that
Exactly.
Yeah, like okay, we're gonna measure our gravel now on the course.
It's like if that article had been on The Simpsons, we'd be doomed. It's all over. Forget it.
And this popped up one evening, and we were reading, and Alex is reading this stuff off, and we're both like getting irate. And I said, "Wait a minute, check the date on that article." And she scrolls back up, and like, "Oh, okay."
But it's sad that we actually like it took us a moment to realize it was a joke.
Yeah.
Because it seems legit.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the nonsense that would come out of it. So anyway,
You want to hear my new hashtag?
yeah.
I don't know which way you would take it, but it's USAC can kick rocks.
Hashtag USAC can
Do you think
kick
USAC,
rocks?
so you guys as racers, and I never read into it, do you think the reason they just restructured their CAT system was to try to bring any interest back into road racing? Like, I never read into it at all. I just saw everyone posting about it.
So I actually, like, side note, I work with the regional organization down here in the Mid-Atlantic. It's called MABRA, Mid-Atlantic Bicycle Racing Association, and I'm the current women's committee chair. So I actually work with USAC on a lot of women-related things. So I know how some of that came about, and I think the idea was to, like bring more novice, beginner racers into the fold and try to make it more inviting to these like people that are riding bikes and doing these events or even racing and paying for one-day licenses, but not like official members. I think that was one aspect of it. And then it seems that the other aspect was that the current point system and category system is very confusing. And like nobody seemed to really understand it, even the people who worked with USAC. So maybe they're trying to like hash that out a little bit more and make it easier to understand and easier to work with.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read some stuff after the new head CEO, whatever he is, of USA Cycling came on. And I think basically they have realized, and probably partially from looking at the gravel scene, is that people are interested in participating, but maybe not that traditional serious road racer type. And they're trying to restructure a little bit to make everyone want to be involved in USA Cycling, even if they're not that serious racer. So, I mean, hopefully they've got their head in the right place and they're trying to figure out a way that they can be relevant to everyone who wants to be on a bike and not just to the serious racers.
Some good could come out of that. There's no doubt about that. So,
Wow, that was a really long, serious talk.
that was very serious.
It was.
Bring some brevity back. Hey, Joey, what's
I know, it's like
what's going on in the Strava Club?
I filled it out this
Joey?
week, so there's no
that you know of.
Yeah, nothing. Let me just.
He's pre-reading
All right.
all the names to make sure I didn't
Number
change
1
any.
/ our 50th person.
Can I just? I'm not going to do that to you again.
You said that last time.
I did it twice, and that's it. Twice. It was funny.
See, I have to
No more.
because I can't.
No more fake names. Go ahead,
Number
go ahead, Joe.
50 was Rush Cherry, 117.9 miles out of Harleysville, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's real. I looked it
That was
up.
right square in the middle. 50.
Yeah.
I think an oven exploded in the kitchen.
Number 8, the Ocho was Bernie Shio, 232.8 from Sparks, Maryland.
Nice.
Oh, do you want to read this one, Alex?
Number 3 was Fabian, or maybe Fabian. I'm going to go with Fabian. Pedersen,
Yeah.
153 out of
Is that Berlin, Germany?
Yeah.
Germany.
It just
wow.
said Berlin.
It could be it could be
Could be
Maryland.
Maryland.
Isn't there a
too. Yeah.
Berlin
but I
somewhere
think when I looked it up,
Yeah.
it was like Germany.
Yeah. He's been in
That's
there
awesome.
before.
Yeah.
He's been in there before.
Nice job, Fabian.
Yeah.
Fabian. Fobs.
Fobs.
Let's work Fobs.
All right,
Fabio.
I'll read this line. You do the next line.
Oh, you're good.
To break into the top 100 for the week, you needed 96.5 miles.
And do I read the next line under that?
Joey's just trying to get out of reading anything. He's like, you read it. He's like spinning
being
his
inclusive.
computer around.
The total Strava members are up to 462 from 430 last week.
That's a
Nice.
big jump.
32 jump.
That's probably our biggest jump, and I guess it's due to the serious nature of last week's episode.
Everyone wants to see how their power training's working for them.
Oh, that's right. You did power.
Yeah. It was a very well received episode, no doubt. Probably one of our biggest release days, and very, very well
That's awesome.
received. So, to join us on Strava, since Joey doesn't want to read, strava.com /clubs /gravel travel dirt. So,
Thank you.
that wraps up Strava Club, and we have got Joey's Tech Tip of the Week. And I've got intro music, but I'm
where's
not.
that at?
I'm not going to do it today.
Are you going to add it in now?
Just
It's
add
kind
it
of
in.
unfair. You told me.
Yeah,
no.
put it in.
I told you
No.
guys. He's like one of those parents that says, "Oh, like eat another bite of broccoli and you get dessert," and, you're like, and then you eat that bite of broccoli, eat another bite of broccoli, you get dessert.
You won't be able to hear stuff
Well,
because
should we just make one up right now?
No.
No, we'll have it next. We'll have it
Be
next.
like Mike Rowe and Dirty Jobs.
I have 6.
You have
very
none.
nice.
Maybe you just forgot.
Nope. I got 6 very nice
Typical excuse.
pieces of bumper music for Joey. Some a little more serious than others, and I just really want to hear you to be able to hear them and react to them at the same time. So
It's a likely story.
Yeah. So, tech tip. It's actually gear advice per Dirty Kitten. Get a flat kit and put it on your bike.
Right?
that's it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
your tech tip of the
He
week.
told me something simple. Pete,
Carry-
look at Pete last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I said. He
So
has,
if you-
he has a great picture.
Well, what should be in your flat kit,
that's a good
Joseph?
All right, so yeah,
Elaborate.
flat kit.
Yeah,
All
elaborate.
right, so I was going to elaborate. All right, get yourself a nice speed sleeve or a little knitty
A speed
bag.
sack? Yeah.
Speed sack,
whatever
speed
fits.
sack.
You know, if you want
Speed
to
sack for
your
USAC. Yeah.
This could be real simple, Pete.
Speed sack.
USAC, speed sack, a
Well,
USAC.
Pete's- I think the
branded.
problem with Pete, he goes to shut up, Wes. He goes to so many bikes is he forgets to move them over.
Was that
yeah.
Pete?
Yeah, that's Pete.
Yeah, we got a picture right here.
I
of
just
him.
rode with him
Yeah.
the other day, and I don't
Yep.
know if I saw I don't think I even saw a flat kit on him the other day.
Man, he was so excited.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the only
That's
single
the first
speed.
descent.
Gonna
right there.
podium. I do think he podiumed.
Yeah, he did actually.
We'll
5 out
share
of
that.
5.
We'll share that picture and
Oh,
photo
yeah.
drop for the episode.
So get yourself a nice little bag,
right.
something. Put it in your jersey. I don't care. I don't think he had one on our long ride the other day. All you need is a tube. I don't even carry a gravel-sized tube.
Now, can I defend Pete for just a minute?
Nope.
Because Pete has those cargo bibs, and I think he has a whole bunch
No,
of
he
stuff
was wearing
in
his
bibs.
NCVC kit that day.
Okay, I don't know.
They definitely
think-
don't
in
have
the
cargo
picture.
pouches in them.
Yeah.
no, on there he had he did not.
No.
At the Dirty Kitten event he did not. But when we rode last week,
He waited
had
for like
stuff.
multiple people to give him stuff.
He's like begging.
It's like from
Dobby got a sock.
Money, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we should reiterate that people.
It's
It's
important during an event too.
Yeah.
Like you're
like
responsible for yourself.
self-supported
Yeah.
to an extent.
Yeah.
So what should be? Now I've interrupted you way
All
too
right.
much, Joe. Go ahead.
Nice little sack.
It's all
then
yours.
you get a.
For a
I actually
minute.
carry like a 700, like 20 to 28 tube because I don't like the bulky tube, but it's supposed to get me back. A tire lever and some type of pump device. And if
So
you're
that's
smart, you'll bring like a patch kit just in case and see it. I know for the longer stuff I do both
I've been
with the patch kit because in worst case you can keep going, but
with
I like
tubeless stuff.
CO2.
I've been doing pump because a lot of times you're just adding air to it. You don't need a whole CO2 cartridge.
Well, yeah, true.
And when you put CO2 into tubeless sealant, doesn't it actually have some sort of weird effect on
That's
the
a good question.
Like
I don't
it
know.
explodes?
I should probably
Does it
know that.
explode?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I hear it explodes
Well,
when you do that.
it just instantly blows
So
up.
there's
yeah.
a couple of things doing CO2 and tubeless. If you've used and you didn't talk about a tubeless setup. If
I
you're
wasn't
using
done. I just keep getting interrupted.
If you use hydrogen,
Actually,
Helium
helium
makes you
helium works
faster.
best. Wes says.
if you put and I've had this happen to me where you
were
insert
you
a
doing?
bacon strip
oh yeah,
into
It'll blow it out.
into the wheel, and it'll actually blow the
Yeah.
bacon back out. And
Aiming at your
Or it
worst
can
enemy.
blow it off the rim too.
yeah,
Occasionally.
Get yourself some stands darts.
That's a good point.
That works really well.
But
Although we did,
bacon's good to have in that
yeah.
that kit.
Or you hold out your stands dart so no one knows you have it on a group ride, and everyone's scrambling for something, and then because I keep switching bikes, I didn't have bacon.
They are a little. They're not cheap.
Right?
They're not
It's
cheap.
about helping out some friends. Now, would you have done that to me? Like,
No.
would you let me use it?
No, I was waiting to see if bacon produced itself. If bacon produced
Yeah.
itself, then great.
It produced
If
itself.
if it
Yeah, I
came,
went up. I slaughtered a pig. Everything for you,
if
Brian.
there was no bacon forthcoming, then I would have cracked out my
Brian,
my
I
darts.
think. Did you know he had his stand dart on him? I think I was
When?
the only person there that knew he was holding out his dart. So I waited a few miles after we changed that one guy's poor little flat, Nino's flat.
Oh yeah.
I was
This
like,
sounds like an episode of Lost or something.
I go up to him, I was like, I know you had your dart.
I was not. No, they're expensive.
There's so much stuff now.
I was not, and I knew that someone
Yeah,
had to have bacon.
someone
But that tickled me because I'm going to actually start carrying bacon in addition to my darts. But I'll use the darts for me.
Nino didn't have a flat kit on him on that ride either.
Yeah,
That was
no,
even a
yeah.
race.
Chris has a good bacon story.
Yeah, actually, I had no idea that bacon strips even existed. And I was doing a mountain bike race last year up in Michaud, in a great spot out front actually, and had a huge cut in the sidewall, and went to try and take the wheel off to put a tube in, and it's a through axle but with like a quick release end on it, and the quick release piece just broke off. So, well, I mean, the wheel's in, but I can't get it out, and I'm just standing there staring at it like, what do I do now? And a couple of friends rolled up, and they're like, what are you doing? And I showed him, and he's like, well, put some bacon in it. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So they whipped out a couple bacon strips and got me going, and I chased back up and still had a good day.
That's
So
awesome.
the moral
yeah.
of the story is there'll always be somebody else with bacon.
Yeah.
But
Someone's got bacon.
don't depend on them for darts.
But
'cause
I
they're
now
expensive.
carry it all the time.
So I'm not going to add them both
Yeah.
in. So that's actually
So
really
anything
good.
you care, anything like Pete, like you can even like just put a dyno plug, bacon in your bag with a CO2, and you're good.
Yeah.
But something so he's not walking out of there. Because how long was a? So like your guys' loop, like the furthest point's what 10 miles out because it's a 20-mile loop.
Yeah, but there
Is there any,
are
like, cut-throughs?
ways to cut
No.
through, and we had volunteers on
Okay.
course with radios to help. The only problem was, and I think we maybe need to make this more like public this year, but if we get a call, like we're not going to be there right away.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. Like I mean, we've got we can't drive a truck down a double track road with racers on it that
Yeah.
fast. So, I mean, if you're calling for
Could be a feature.
SOS, unless it's an emergency, like a medical emergency, like you're going to be there for a while waiting. So medical emergency is different. Like we're coming through.
We were on a group ride, and it was an event, and I think the day before, or for check-in, like you were required to bring a list of things. I'm not saying you need like a whole slew of stuff for Dirty Kitten, but I just remember to the point.
Was it
just,
Dirty Kansas?
It's probably Dirty Kansas.
No. It was to the point where, who was it? Maybe they're listening. Just to make sure, I think that you were reading the list, they made you bring a snorkel. Like, it was one of the things. So you have to, like, they want to make sure you read everything.
Oh, like you have to have it with you.
You have to
when
like show up with it, and
that's
when you
an
check
idea.
in, they make sure you have it because I think you needed like at least 60 to 80 miles worth of water, stuff like that. You were like super self-supported.
That's actually an interesting concept.
So like when you check in, flat kit, this,
That's actually
stuff that made sense.
Very good idea.
So that way, no one, just in case worst case scenario.
Well, it's a natural segue. So let's jump in and start talking Dirty
Yes.
Kitten. Dirty Kitten talk. Dirty time.
Meow, meow, meow.
We just can't resist
Whoa,
it.
this reclines.
Dang.
Where did Wes go?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Wes is going to fall asleep over
Also,
there.
you're in the patchwork chair, which is like very fitting for your entire like ensemble today.
I'll just come forward when I need to talk.
What's that like 60s, 70s TV
Jesus.
show? Or is it Archie Bunker? His chair in like on display? Yeah, he's a little Archie Bunker. on there.
All right, so let's jump over and talk about Dirty Kitten. So last year was your first year, correct?
Yes.
And what an amazing success for year one for an event. I mean, that just kind of, I think, lends itself to tell the story of gravel. But let's back up a little bit. For folks that haven't been listening or don't know anything about Dirty Kitten, back us all the way up to the beginning and tell us where all of it came from.
Well, that's actually a really good question. I was just writing that story last night for
Excellent timing.
for some business stuff. I am not very good with dates, so Chris will probably correct me, but I think it was 2018, a couple years ago before we were married, we were on a road trip and we were talking just ideas that we had about races and events and whatnot. And we had this whole concept to kind of create our own event management and promotion company. And we just sort of said like, hey, it'd be really cool to put on a race at the location in Virginia where we like to ride gravel on this farm. And it may have been even like 2017, right? Because we put it on as just like a ride, an informal ride. So we did like an informal ride. We had like 50 people show up. We did, I think it was like about 20 miles or whatever. And we got a lot of good feedback. So we were talking and we said, let's make this a race. Like this could be a cool gravel road race kind of concept with multiple laps. So it just kind of started from there. And I don't half-ass anything. So apologize if I'm not supposed to use that word on.
Whole ass one thing.
Whole ass.
Okay. Yeah. So whole ass one thing. So it's like all in, like we're going all in on this. And we just like started promoting it end of 2018 and put up reg February 1st, 2019. Like, let's see what happens. And then I got in touch with Dave Pryor. Dave.
Next day. Clink. Oh, clink.
And he's like, you need to talk with the Mid-Atlantic GTD guys, tell them about your event. And so, I mean, that whole story. So it just kind of rolled from there and people liked the concept and the idea. And I had help from my cycling team, Vanderkitten-Entourage Racing, and some of Chris's team at like Dr. Frederick and local people in that Virginia area mountain bike club called Cambo and my mom's horse riding group. And we just built it. And so last year, it went well for the first time as a race. And
How many people did you have that first year?
we had about 250. I mean, our cap was 250.
You capped it out.
I think we our total was like 225 day of.
Okay.
And
Wow.
it's interesting because we had a lot of people sign up for the 60 last year and noticing already on Reg this year that people realize like maybe the 60 is too much. We're going to go with the 40 because we had I don't know what the dropout was last year, but it was like 50% in the 60 or something
It was
crazy
that one
like that.
hill, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of DNFs, which on paper like looks really bad, but at the same time you're like, well, it's challenging, so maybe that's a thing.
So maybe they DNF'd the race that they entered for, but they didn't necessarily.
Right.
They still finished something.
Yes, they still finished
something
1-2 laps.
big, something big.
And I think even a lot of the feedback we got from people who may not have finished or thought that was hard was like, but now I want to come back and conquer it again. So
There you go.
That's always encouraging.
Good.
We've had a good number of people that from our store that did it last year. Yeah, they were like, I did the 60 last year, but I think they want a little bit more relaxed approach and do the 40, just as a little bit more fun for them, I guess. So I know, like, Pete with a single, he's like, I'm never going to do that hill 3 times on a single speed. Like, but he's all ready to go back on a different bike and do the 40, and he's like, I'm just going to destroy the 40. So I think that's his approach.
Dialing it in.
Yeah, and just
dialing it in.
And we have some ideas already for like possible concepts next year that could kind of bank off of that idea of maybe having like some people that want to just do it more recreationally and then others that want to race. So we won't divulge that information right now, but we have ideas in the works.
So break the event down for us. You know, what's
different this year, right?
Yeah,
What's
what's the format? What's the race look like?
So, and Chris, you can jump in anytime. I'm like taking over the mic here. Well, so we're going to stick with the 3 distance options, 20, 40, and 60. And so, again, 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps. And we're keeping the hill, the Kitten Crusher climb.
Is that its official name?
Kitten Crusher. Is that what?
Is that its official name now?
Yeah, I know it wasn't, and then it just became that. Also,
you're gonna have like PETA like knocking on your door.
Yeah, I know exactly. Then there's the litter box section of the course, which is not our name. Someone else named it that on Strava. So there's some interesting names that have popped up, but
yeah, sometimes names just stick.
Yeah.
Someone else names it, and you're like, well, okay,
Yeah.
So that climb is we don't know. It could be anywhere from like 25 to 30% grade. It's hard to tell.
That's awesome.
It's really hard. We're not
crusher.
even really sure. But yeah, it'll be in there. But so yeah, we're gonna have 3 distances and the same categories. Essentially, our reg looks different just because we wanted to separate women's categories and men's categories so that we could reserve 100 spots for women.
Okay.
Nice.
This year. And so we still have the same categories: elite, open, masters. We have a variety of masters. We actually added a 60 plus for both men's and women's fields, and junior categories. So that's all about pretty much the same. Chris can probably talk a little bit about the course. But what we are doing is adding camping Friday night and doing a pre-ride on Friday. Pre-ride on Friday, camping, and then the race on Saturday. And we're hoping to have some live music, some other things going on. We're hoping to set up an expo and vendor area for local businesses and any like bike industry folk that want to come out, sponsors.
So it's a full weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it's starting to get there. It's starting to become this like festival concept.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we have these grand visions of making it a full weekend of cool stuff to do. But I think we learned from last year that taking a slow approach, and last weekend we capped our race at a lower number than we thought we could really handle, but wanted to make sure that we pulled off a good event. And so I think just adding these things incrementally and making sure we really have control of everything that we're doing and it's all going well will help help us get to that without getting in over our heads and never like 500 people show up for something and they're like, oh, this was terrible, you guys blew it. So
Are you guys increasing the cap this year?
We moved this year to 350.
350. Nice.
Yeah.
And now registration just opened, right?
Yeah, we're at 265 as of today.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we opened on February. Well, we did a pre-reg January 31st for
Yeah, can you talk about that real quick?
Larry jumped in.
Yeah, so we kind of took a gamble and said we had a lot of people on the wait list last year that didn't get in and were begging to get in. And so what if we open up a day or even like 24 hours? Well, that's a day, obviously. 12 hours ahead of time on January 31st and allow all 2019 participants and waitlisters a chance to get in. Like, here you go, guys. Here's your chance. It's open to you. There's 350 spots. There's only 200 or 300 of you on the list. So, like, if you all sign up, you're all getting in. But hopefully that won't happen. And we sent out a code. It's actually really cool. Bike Reg allows the option to send out a password to certain people, and then they can register. So we did a pre-reg and got about 100 people.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Which is essentially what we added. Yeah. And then when Reg opened February 1st to the public, anyone else could.
And that's cool because it wasn't just your returning riders; it was also the people that had waitlisted last year that didn't get to ride.
And you guys got a lot of good feedback for that too.
Yeah.
For people that were on the wait list, they love that.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, we appreciate having people willing to sign up and commit last year, and encourage people to get on the wait list just in case things changed and we were able to add more people for some reason. So it's and hopefully if we sell out again this year, and you miss out, get on there and maybe get a shot next year.
Nice. And so you had 250 last year, and then how many showed up? How many no-shows did you have?
I think it was only 25.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Amazing.
That number struck me. It's like, wow, that is low. And if I remember right, I wasn't there because I have to be in New York that week. Hey, I'm doing a good thing, supporting a good cause. But I know Joey's going to be there this year.
Yep.
Joey and Jess are both going.
She's single speeding it.
Yeah, Jess.
Yeah.
Woo!
Is that embargoed still?
It is. But she is single speeding it. It's like her goal
Oh,
this
wait,
year.
it's that? She's going to single speed it on.
Yeah, she's all about
I
it.
forgot
On
you guys have the inside scoop as well.
Yeah.
I think Dirty Kitten's our goal of the year now.
Nice. Pumped for her.
That's awesome.
She's excited.
And I know she's. You guys are after Rothrock.
Yes.
Rothrock is early, and they're doing the whole big get women out on bikes,
we saw that,
which is awesome.
And they're doing a ride,
and
a pre-ride and everything.
You guys are following sort of that, not following, but I mean it's cool doing the same thing. I think it's awesome.
Well, actually, I think it was Steamboat Gravel that did early reg for women this year.
Okay.
And then there was another event that did reserved spots for women, and so I know Dirty Kansas did something last year, 2 years ago.
200 miles for 200 women or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so just those kind of concepts, we thought that was a good way to approach it versus the make registration less expensive for women, which personally I think is actually kind of offensive.
Oh yeah.
And we don't need to get into that now, but we felt like we don't need to do that. Women, can afford to pay for their registration, and if not, that's a completely different issue, and that's not just women anyway. We don't need to do that, but we would like to make, a certain amount of spots available for women, just because there are so many more men in the industry and who register that sometimes women, maybe don't have the opportunity. So we thought we would reserve spots and then, allow that opportunity.
What's the one thing, if you're male or female, this is my first time coming out and doing Dirty Kitten, maybe I'm new. What do they need to know? What's the one thing they need to know?
The gravel is gravel.
Yeah.
It's not dirt roads. There's some chunky stuff on there, and all the people who asked last year, can I come on my road bike? And I tried to politely discourage, but try not to be too scary about it, I guess. Okay. But now that I know we're getting people you need some thick tires.
And to maybe it also sounds like maybe to not bike off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
Kind of
That was
make
good,
sure we use that a lot.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
I use that a lot.
Oh.
Bike off. It's the touring term that we use. If you're going to go out and do an 80-mile day, you better have done a few 80-mile days before you come out and do it on a tour. Don't bike off more than you can chew. So it sounds like that's smart advice, and it's going to bring those DNFs down and make everybody have a more enjoyable day.
Yeah, and I say that it's still a very rideable course.
Right.
It's going to take its toll on you, and having a wide tire with a little extra comfort, a little more control is going to be good for you.
Yeah.
I also think when it's 100% gravel, people aren't necessarily used to that. When we do gravel rides, there's always going to be
hard top somewhere.
Yeah, pavement sections somewhere in
Hard
there, and you don't
packed
even
dirt,
really think about or hard packed road, and
Yeah.
you don't realize that your legs get recovery
Yeah.
at those points. But on the Dirty Kitten course, there's no, even the flat sections are not easy, and the downhills, you're still pedaling through gravel.
Yeah.
And so I just heard people say there is no recovery. There is zero recovery. Yeah, Larry's agreeing over there.
Larry acts scared, but he just he never gets tired.
But Chris and I have also talked about going out there this summer and riding the 60 like it's a race, hammering 3 laps straight through so that we know
what people are up against.
what
Yeah.
it's really about.
So you can communicate that level of effort better to those questions, because as promoters, you get all kind of questions, I'm sure, all day long, that probably the website can
You should
answer.
go out there and do it with them, Brian. Since you can't make it.
Yeah, I actually would love to
We're
do that.
thinking about doing a.
I will not race it.
we're thinking about
Yeah.
doing a recon ride, and we're going to extend an invite to you guys.
Oh, yeah, we'd love to do
we'll
that.
like
definitely be in touch about that.
an invite. Recon
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
Wes,
invite
don't invite
ourselves.
everyone.
No,
Maybe
that's
we
awesome.
should get serious about that gravel candy scale so you guys can use it.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Gobstoppers,
Joey's
peanut
talking about
M&Ms, or Skittles.
I mean, I had people emailing and texting last year, like, no joke. What does your gravel look like? Like, can you describe your gravel to me? And I'm like, how do I don't even
does it
know.
smell like?
What's
Yeah.
the USA Cycling requirement for that? Like, how do you describe it? Like, here's a picture of our gravel next to my hand. Like, does that help?
So you could do it like
Whopper.
regular kitty litter. And then,
that's a good
one. Kitten has been in the kitty box litter.
like clumping,
Yes.
non-clumping,
2-week-old
corn.
cat litter. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a great idea.
Freshly poured. Yeah.
Now, what are the names for the different distances? Because I know you've got some fun names for the races.
And it's funny you should ask that, because my good friend and teammate Sarah Williams, shout out to my friend up in Michigan, was on the Dirty Chain podcast a few weeks ago, and they asked her that question, and she on the spot couldn't remember, so she just made it up. And I actually love the name she came up with. So the official names are the full burrito, which is the 60, the basic burrito, which is the 40, and the mini burrito, which is the 20. She wanted it to be the baby burrito, I think, which actually is kind of cute.
I listened to that.
And Chris can explain what a burrito is if anyone doesn't know.
Actually, I just thought it was just burrito and cat mixed together.
Yeah, it's just basically a cat wrapped in a blanket like a burrito.
Oh, that's adorable.
No,
Oh
but,
man, we got to tell Brett Chatterton about that. He's all about his cats.
but no cats will be harmed. In
That's
Yeah. Only on Cat Crusher Hill.
yeah.
no cats will be eaten. Dirty Kitten.
We have not been able to get one of our cats to pose for a burrito shot, and we're not forcing them. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be the Dirty Kitten Challenge.
Yes,
Like a social media
sir.
I
challenge.
feel like PETA may come after us for that one.
It's just a blanket.
Heard it here first. Put your cat in a taco blanket.
Don't be a wet blanket
Wrap
on a
them up
cat.
nice
Yeah.
and tight. Yeah.
I bought Chris a burrito blanket for Christmas. We actually have one.
I knew that's why you guys were my parents.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you said I finally get to meet my mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It took me a minute. It took me like 2 hours to figure
That's all right.
out.
Yeah. It all came full
I
circle.
thought you
yeah.
were just being really creepy.
Well, yeah.
That's also normal. Yeah.
So, is there anything else going on in your world besides Dirty Kitten? I know you got some stuff happening. Oh, Joe, you got something? Go.
I was going to ask if you could talk about CatCamp.
Yeah.
Transition
that
into
was
that.
my segue to CatCamp.
There's a bunch of women down by us that are going up or going
Yeah.
down to.
I've seen some Solomons Island people.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's at least 3 or 4 of them right now.
Yeah, Jess was telling me. Jess and I are BFFs now, so
Lucky.
hashtag more Jess.
Oh, ouch.
But also Wes.
You'll have therapy later to talk about mom issues.
Cry on the way home. Yeah. My mom denounced me on the radio.
CatCamp. So CatCamp, which is short for Catoctin Cycling Camp, kind of spawned out of what was called Vanderkitten a few years ago. And Vanderkitten was a women's cycling training weekend that I put together with some of my teammates, sponsored by Vanderkitten in Virginia. And it was based out of Rapidan, where I used to live in Virginia. And for a couple of years, I would do camp in March and April, and we would go up and train, ride on the Skyline Drive. And when I moved to Frederick, I thought, well, it'd be cool to do it around here because we've got a really nice area over in Thurmont in the Catoctin Mountain area, which is also where the Frederick watershed is. There's a lot of great road riding, some gravel riding, mountain biking. And so kind of just put together this 4-day quote unquote camp, which is really just women's cycling like long weekend in April 2nd to 5th. And it's road focused, but there will be gravel riding options and some mountain bike riding options as well. And so far it looks like it's doing really well. We have, I think, 14 or 15 registered, and I know that there's others who are interested.
What's your cap on that?
I put the cap at 30 right now.
Okay.
Just because based on the amount of space and staff that I have, I think 30 is good.
Right.
But there is potential for it to grow. Just again, as Chris mentioned, like you don't ever want to get in over your head when you're promoting anything because that's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get too zealous. So we're going to be staying at Caboose Farm in Sibyllesville, Maryland, and it's actually where our family stayed for our wedding weekend. So we know the area, we know the people that run the farm. There are 6 houses, and so you can actually fit like 50 to 60 people if everyone shares a bed. But we've got different options for housing for camp. So it's looking like it's going to be good. There's riding in the national park there, Catoctin Mountain Park. And like I said, in the watershed on some of the gravel roads and then also on the mountain bike trails. But there is kind of a side note, the mountain bike trails, if you've ever been in the shed, are very technical, rocky, rough mountain bike trails. So it's not beginner-friendly mountain biking. And I'm trying to definitely like make sure people know that coming into it. Like if you're bringing your mountain bike and you want to do some of the mountain bike rides, it's like intermediate to advanced mountain biking. It's not beginner mountain biking, but the gravel is great. The gravel's like your typical
it's a
gravel
road
road.
focus with sort of that gravel kind of spillover because those are so tight.
Like a technical aspect to the course.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do road rides and then
Yeah.
we'll do some gravel rides options for people who want to do gravel and then a couple mountain bike ride options. But
Nice.
every day we'll have road rides.
Yeah.
And then I know that there's a lot of people interested in gravel. So, I mean, I've thought ahead about even potentially doing a gravel weekend later in the year, but I think spring is a good time for road.
I think too that, and say it's road focused, but part of it's about getting miles, getting that spring training base in, and that big weekend, and that's a good way to do that. But we do have those other options.
I have a question, a little off topic, but I think
Sure.
relevant to any fun camp. Ice cream. I think out by that way there's a place called Misty Meadow Creamery.
Oh, yeah?
Have you been there?
No.
It's on the other side of Catoctin Mountain.
Oh,
You could totally ride to it,
yes.
and it's really good ice cream, and they do all their stuff, like everything's like right there. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
there's
you.
a lot of cool
Yeah.
places.
Well, my family's just north of here, just north of Thurmont and Fairfield, Pennsylvania. So, I mean, it's just right there. Everything's...
Wes was up here yesterday.
Yeah, I was up here yesterday visiting my grandmother.
I thought for sure you were going to stay up here. We were just
I
going to
told
meet
him
you
that.
up here.
Yeah, we could have ridden.
I had a lot going on. I could have, yeah. But darn.
But alas,
Yeah.
you didn't want to hang out with your mom. That's cool.
That's all
Your
right.
second mom.
Yeah.
But it's interesting you mentioned that because there is the option to go out to Michaud National Forest and do some gravel and mountain biking there.
Yeah.
Over CatCamp weekend, it just involves like 2-hour round trip kind of thing to get out there and back, hour and a half maybe.
Yeah.
And so we need to figure the logistics of that kind of stuff out. We're going to rent a van or two and
To move people around.
yeah.
So one more time, what were the dates?
April 2nd through 5th.
2nd through 5th.
But there's a 4-day option, a 3-day option, and a 2-day option.
Okay. And how can people find out more information about that?
You can go on bikereg.com/catcamp.
Okay, that's easy enough. I will I'm going to put a link in the show notes, but
Cool,
some people,
thanks.
when they hear it, they, jot down that information. So.
I honestly thought CatCamp was a prep for Dirty Kitten.
Yeah.
I didn't even put Catoctin in there at all.
And actually, Chris and I have talked a little bit about doing a Dirty Kitten training weekend out in Virginia, co-ed or maybe doing like, I don't know. We've thrown it around, but that's also a possibility too, because there's a lot of gravel out in that area. I mean, not just the Dirty Kitten course, but
Tons of other
all
stuff.
over- yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we love getting people on bikes and putting together cool events, and we just kind of want to keep that rolling and
Keep the steam.
find other events, work with other people, if Alex is a genius at promoting and marketing stuff and building hype. So I think we just want to share those talents with people.
We talked about that last year a lot. I mean, I think, Wes, you talked about it everywhere you turned on social media.
And I don't even use social media that much.
Right.
Like, it was everywhere I looked,
So it was, and so keep the hype.
Thanks,
You know?
Yeah, it's all about
because you
building
guys
hype.
responded to everything. If somebody asked a question, somebody posted something, you guys were on it, and that was awesome to see.
The downside is that I am on my phone
Yeah.
or computer 24/7.
That stupid
from
screen time
January
number.
1st to
Yeah.
And Chris has to literally at midnight. He'll be like, "It's bedtime. Close the computer and go to bed."
Dark time.
Or we do have a website. Chris, being a software engineer, has created a website that is up.
Okay.
DirtyKittenGravel.com.
Nice.
You
I'll link to
probably can't access it at your work. We've heard that it's blocked. Chris could, but
Adding an alias.
DirtyKittenGravel.com. And so we're trying to get all the information up on that. Everything's on Bike Reg / dirty-kitten-gravel. But having a website's nice. Just another way for people, especially people who aren't on social media. That was one of the criticisms, I guess, we got last year in our survey, because we, by the way, went through the survey and read all of the comments.
Awesome.
Many times. And one of the things was, it'd be great to have a website where we could find info.
Okay.
I think especially as we get the details together for camping, we've been taking registration for camp spots, but we're gonna lay all that out and really get information to people. So stuff like that, I think that's where people will be able to find that info.
Yeah, because a lot of times on social you can see something and it comes in bits and pieces, and then trying to put it all together, it's tough. So having the website as the hub that's got all that information that you can kind of spill out.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that I want to do is really start aggregating results there year after year, and be able to find racers that have come back and done it multiple times and show their progress and stuff like that. And, I like to have
Community.
a place to pull that all together.
Yeah, it's community, and that's what I think ultimately gravel really does excel at, and it's because it is no USAC.
What's interesting is I did the very informal sort of poll on my Facebook page a few weeks back, and the question was what is the top reason why you go to a specific event that you go to every year? What causes you to want to go to this event? And I mean, hands down, it was community.
Yeah,
that was the top answer, and that's really important as a promoter to recognize. That's what people want when they go to an event. There's a small portion, for the most part, especially with these kinds of events. There's a small portion of people who are racing seriously, and a larger portion that just want to be there for the experience. Yeah. And so you have to promote to that. I mean, you have to promote to both.
Right.
But I always think my father, I think I mentioned it last year when we did the podcast, he's in the music industry. And so I grew up in that event management, promotion world, festivals and whatnot. And he always says, you're promoting the experience. What is the experience that you want people to have? That's what you promote. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we really try to do, and then create that. Of course, you want to also create it.
Welcome to the field.
No Fire Fest.
Yeah.
So diving right in, your Instagram follow. We asked you to put together an Instagram follow of the week. Alex, what do you got? Nothing like being put on the spot, right?
Kind of self-promoting here, but
that's fine.
We're launching our business brand, Dirty Kitten Productions. So we have an Instagram page that has 13 likes currently and 2 posts. So Dirty Kitten Productions is our Instagram follow of the week.
Challenge. Let's blow that up. Let's blow it up.
This is your chance to get in on the ground floor. You can say you were there from the beginning.
And it's funny.
Maybe we'll I don't know, do some kind of contest or something.
It's funny you say that, because I know that when we started this a little over a year ago, we still remember those people that were in with us on the ground floor,
right?
Our Justins and Frankies and
Larry's,
and all those people that just dove right in and were a part of what we had going on, and those are names. So here's your opportunity. You know, be a Dirty Kitten Productions OG and dive right in. So we've got this or that next, and you have no choice, Alex and Chris, but you must stick around. You have nowhere to go.
But we have not given consent.
So I didn't do any wrap up last week from the last week's poll. I didn't get that into the show notes, so maybe I'll do a double dip next week and give the results of our Facebook poll for last week and this week, next week.
I could have done that too. I'm sorry.
So, order of business. I'm going to throw the this or that out. I'm going to toss it over to Alex and Chris, then Joey. Then I'm going to answer. Larry, you want to get in on this? Jump in over on Wes's mic and
I'd love to get on this.
Or get in over here.
Larry's like, what?
I don't know.
He's listening to the music coming from the kitchen right now, which I hope is not in the background the entire time.
Larry just woke up. He's like, what? It's warm in here. Then I'll give it to Wes. So to be quick, first item on this or that, kittens or puppies?
Oh, that's a hard one.
You monster.
Am I going first?
Yes, and this should not be very hard for you at all.
What? Well, actually, that's funny. I am not the cat person in this relationship. Although we have 2 cats and they're mine, technically. They're really Chris's cats now. I'm a dog person. I am totally, I know. But if you meet my dog, Pacha, she is adorable. Like, the most adorable. So, definitely dog. Puppies. I know.
Dirty puppy.
Yeah, cats just keep adopting me, so I'd have to say I'm a cat person.
There you go. Joey?
Well, my dog's my child. I talk to him like he's my child and everything, and he goes everywhere with me. So,
I'm surprised you didn't bring him today.
Yeah,
it would have been fun. I'll go with just to pay homage to why we're here today. A dirty little kitten is good stuff. Larry? I'll go puppies. Larry's a dog. A snickerdoodle. Well, of course. Should have brought snickerdoodle. We should overrun this place with dogs and cats. Wes?
I love dogs. I hate potty training dogs. Potty training a cat is awesome. You just stick it in a box and it just knows where to go. But I think I have to still pick puppy.
Really?
Kittens are adorable, though. That's hard.
Yeah,
I've
they
had
just
both.
fall
And
all
it's just,
over the
I don't know.
place.
Yeah.
They tumble around.
But I like when dogs try to figure out how to walk when they start like growing and they can't and they're just falling all over everything. I don't know.
Next item on this or that. A drinking glove or a beer cozy. And this is from our buddy Eric. So let me explain that, or at least my interpretation of what I think it is you obviously want to have something on your hand. No. You want to have something to protect your delicate fingers from whatever cold thing is you're holding.
Hand up
So
glove.
you either have to put a hand-up glove on, or you have to use a beer cozy. Which would you choose?
I don't know.
I think I'm going to answer for both of us here because we have probably 78 pairs of hand-up gloves at home. So I'm going to go. Probably going to go drinking glove.
Just one at a time, too. Just throw it away when you're done.
Shameless plug for one of our sponsors. Also.
This one's for Budweiser. This one's for Yingling.
Joey?
I'm going to go drinking gloves.
Yeah.
I hate koozies.
Or
cozies, as you call them.
I love the idea of having a glove that's dedicated to drinking.
I really want one of those Hulk
You have a
hands
driving glove and you have a drinking glove.
Yes.
Maybe not a good combo.
Don't mix them. Yeah.
Don't overlap. Larry? I'm going with the glove. Yeah, Larry's going with the glove. Wait a minute. It's glove all the way around. Wes?
I'll muck it up.
The glove is weird, guys. You guys are weird.
Just one glove,
Joe, you've got like a Yeti koozie. I'll take his Yeti koozie if he's going to use a glove from now on.
Wes still
Plus
thinks we're talking about pouring the beer in the glove. And
And plus, the koozie keeps it cold.
Truth. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Wes, you be you.
It insulates.
Next item on this or that. Eat a raw potato or I'll eat a whole lime. They're both looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Wow. But are you eating the lime like skin?
The
No,
whole
you would,
lime.
you would,
You
you would
can't
eat
peel
it.
it.
Let me
Eat it like an orange.
You can't clarify. You can cut it
cannot
out,
peel
but you
it.
can't peel it.
No, you can peel it.
No,
you could
no,
eat
no,
it like
the whole potato or the whole lime.
No,
Whole.
no, my this or that. My this or that. You would eat the lime the similar way you would eat an orange. You would take the rind off and you would eat the fruit. Okay? Just to clarify.
I disagree.
Wow.
I didn't think this one was
I
going to be that
feel
difficult.
like a lime is going to result in less discomfort
Later on.
later on than a raw potato is my thought.
Chris?
yeah, I'm going to go lime. The potato sounds kind of painful.
Yeah, I can't I can't even eat a half baked potato. Like I'll eat the lime. No, thank you.
I would eat the lime too, Larry. I'd eat the potato. Really? Yeah. Okay, Larry's a potato
tough.
man.
Larry's a man's man, though.
Larry's going to eat that potato while climbing the Kitten Crusher.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk to you while he's going up the hill. Can you leave the potato in your car all day on a hot day?
Nope, just eat a raw potato.
I think I'd do the potato.
Eat the potato.
I guess
You
it
have
also-
to cut it up, right?
It also depends on the size, too, of the potato.
Is it like a little red potato for soup?
Yeah. Is it like a mini one?
Like, are we
No.
eating the whole, or are you cutting them
Big
up?
russet
rustic
potato.
potato.
Yeah, big old bacon potato. It's massive and it's huge.
that you just dug out of the ground.
I think I'd still go potato. I'm
You
with
wouldn't
Larry
have.
on that
You
one.
probably wouldn't have to eat for a week after you ate that because this is going to stay in there. Next item on this or that, and we have 5 this week, so I don't know how that.
We had a
happened.
lot in the
It's
car.
a
We
bonus
gotta
week.
write those down on the way back.
A very rusty chain. Oh, let me start over again. A very rusty chain, or no brake pads left.
I feel like you were on our mountain bike ride this week because my mechanic / husband did not clean our bikes or oil our chains, which he usually does. And yes, I know that I'm putting that on him and I should have done it myself. So neither of us did it. And our chains were super rusty and loud. And we did not have any lube. Although someone suggested butter or chapstick or goo, which none of those sound
Man,
good.
butter could be like that wind whack stuff. You just
Yeah, but where would you if you don't have bike chain lube on your bikes? Where would you get butter?
There's
Exactly.
forest
7-Eleven.
butter.
Exactly.
Yeah, all these suggestions were horrible. I don't know what people were thinking. And I will say the previous rides we did were rather clean. It's just we drove home in a salty slurry and forgot to take care of that when we got home. So. But I don't know, man. We often deal with the brake pad issue during cross season. So I think that
mountain bikes have both rusty chains and
No
no brake pads.
yeah, so
That combo's bad.
can we double up and just go both of them?
Yeah.
both at the same time.
Joey?
well, I feel like we have a lot of similarities, Chris. Because I don't know. I feel like I would like to stop a little bit more efficiently, but I really hate a noisy chain. Like it just drives me nuts on group rides with other people.
Well, if my chain is making noise, I just start shifting until I rip the derail off, and then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
at
I just
all.
turn on my
Problem
headphones.
solved. I think I think no brake pads. That's like run into a tree.
That's asking for
That's
it.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's
versus
asking for
annoying.
trouble. Larry?
I'll do a rusty chain. I've been without brake pads.
Larry says rusty chain, been without the brake pad.
Brake pads. I couldn't listen to that squeaky chain the whole time. I'll figure out how to slow down.
Just take the chain off and
Yeah.
throw it away. A Strider bike.
Apparently, if you pour water on your chain, it helps for a
little bit?
little bit.
Well, that
But then
sense.
makes it rustier and or it freezes, which becomes a completely different issue
there you go.
entirely.
That would definitely suck.
Alex's anti-tip of the week.
Okay, Wes, you've put this last one in, and I don't think it's written right.
Well, I didn't write it.
Have your bike rack fall off while driving, or run your bikes on a roof rack into a garage.
It's like have your hitch rack fall off the back of your car, or
So
run your bikes into a garage.
But not your Sarah's hitch rack that you just got.
Because that would never happen.
It
That
could
would
be.
never happen. So it sounds like our this or that is either destroy your bikes or destroy your bikes. One of the two. So
So I've actually had both of those things happen. I've had
Oh,
my
no.
bike on a roof rack fall off while driving on the highway because I apparently did not lock the fork in properly.
oh,
And I suddenly heard this like slam on the right side of my car and looked over and my bike's hanging down off the roof rack
oh dear.
with a broken dropout. So I'm not sure, to be honest, about this, but I think if your bike, this is coming from a bike industry perspective, I would say if your bike rack falls off your car, you're more likely to be able to claim insurance on it for not being your fault than if you run it into a garage. Because if you run into the garage, it's your fault.
Our
Versus if it falls off, you could blame it on the rack, maybe.
Our guests are so much smarter than us.
I'm just
you thought it was a
thinking-
dumb this or that. Insurance fraud by GTD.
I'd have to say I've had my bike on the roof of a car when it has been driven into an overhang. It wasn't done by me, but it happened. And honestly, the rack folded and crumpled, and gave way. So the only damage I got on the bike was a broken brake lever on a mountain bike, and everything else was fine. So I mean, that versus coming off at 70 miles an hour, I'd probably maybe take my chances with the roof again.
Okay, Joey.
I like the rack idea of claiming it on my insurance, but I've also had my roof rack come undone while driving, and like the bike came flying down off the side of my car while I was backing up. Jesus. So I'm gonna go with, well, I don't know. I'd feel about that. My luck, I'd probably hit that family in the minivan with my bike rack coming off the back of my car. So
you love bikes now.
Yeah, roof rack.
Okay, so 2000 is calling, and they would like you to return their roof rack bike carrying device.
Sometimes you got to use your hitch for something else.
Or also, you have bikes, like 4 bikes.
Yeah.
On both.
On tour, when we have to carry
We're not
bikes,
on tour, Brian.
We put them on the roof, and so we have to be very mindful of that issue. So I kind of think about that a lot.
That's when everyone's yelling, "We want McDonald's." You can't go through the
No,
drive-through. Yeah.
no.
Or into a parking garage.
Yeah.
Into a any of that stuff. So we have to be really, really very
Or
careful.
into that hotel overhang thing.
And I have to tell this story all
Trees,
myself.
parking lot. Yeah.
When we picked up, so my wife just got a new bike. Just got a new Diverge, picked it up at the shop,
Woo!
put it on my beautiful MTR bike rack, and had it on the back of the truck. And we
Don't
went.
you guys have one of those too?
Yeah, sitting in a box on our patio.
I went to make
It'll
a turn,
hopefully go on my car.
and I guess the latch hadn't engaged all the way, so it didn't. Nothing came off. It's just it went.
Oh, it dropped.
It just dropped into like the down positions of the bike.
And did it
disappeared.
drag along?
No.
You couldn't see it in like your rearview mirror
I
anymore.
could-
Yeah.
I
Suddenly your bikes are like, boop.
Yeah, I could see the handlebars just above the back of the truck, but I was like, it gives you a little bit of pucker. Like all of a sudden the bike disappears. Nothing was ever at risk of coming off. There was no issue, no problem. Nothing was ever in danger, but it was my little dum-dum moment.
Oh, I'm going to plug Sarah's really quick because I've had 2 times where it's been installation error with putting the bike on the rack. And somehow Sarah said another point in the process of it being held on saved the bike from falling off,
Oh, yeah.
like recently.
Yeah.
We drove home with the Sequoia, not even remember that
Yeah.
from that one trip?
Yeah,
Not even latched
you
down.
weren't, the hook wasn't even touching your rear wheel.
And
But
then,
the bike wasn't going anywhere.
And then coming home from Wilmington, something moved on the wheel tray, but the way the strap worked, the bike didn't fall away off the rack.
A lot of things would have to go wrong
Yeah.
at the same time for any of their MTR or the Freedom.
Well, I've
the-
had
I was going to say, I feel like our customers would beg to differ.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of bikes come through the shop that have come off bike racks.
Probably
Well,
not
that's
not
where
cyclist
I'm coming
rack,
from
though.
with my comment that
I don't know.
I would
Yeah.
call the company, and I mean, it could potentially be like a warranty thing with the actual
I did have my
piece of equipment.
on my Kuat Envy, the wheel strap broke, and accelerating it slipped right off the
'Cause
rack.
It's not in a
Imprint
tray. It
tray.
was sitting
Exactly.
on. It was sitting on sort of like a
Yeah.
flat slat.
Yeah, my road bike.
Yeah.
I've had people come in with parts that are broken off their racks, but on the flip side, the racks are so secured with all these different straps and things
Yeah.
that it doesn't actually affect the
Yeah.
Well,
bike.
with that MTR, a lot of things would have to go wrong.
Well,
A lot of things.
years ago, we had a guy that came in. We sold him a Thule T2, and he goes away, and he comes back like a couple weeks later, and he like snapped the whole T2 in half. And he's like, "It drugged my bikes, and his bikes were okay." I was like, "What?"
How
Like,
did
that's
that
a
happen?
solid steel. Like, it's a beefy rack. I was like, "That's weird."
That was JDA.
So
just
call-
driving along.
Called Thule up, and they're like, "That's weird. We'll send you a new one." And so they send a new one, give it to him, and he comes back 2 weeks later, same thing. What are you doing? Like, where is this going? He had it on the back of like a 30-foot like mobile home trailer thing. So every time he hit a bump, it was like just a huge wave, and it would smack down, and it caused enough force. So I called Thule. I was like, "Is this okay?" And they're like, "No, not at all. He cannot do that." So if you're driving with a motorhome, careful.
So did you enter his vehicle into the website?
Yeah.
What
Does this
vehicle do you
fit my
drive?
vehicle?
And
It's a Winnebago
tractor trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to work with your vehicle. Sorry.
Larry, what would be your choice? Did you already answer this?
I'd go with the rack.
The rack. Yeah. Wes,
I've
you forgot the question.
yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. No, I mean, we've seen so many customers not install their bikes on a hitch rack right, and they come back and like half the bike is just ground away. after, like once it drags and it's kind of dragging on the back of the rack. And by the time they stop, it's aluminum or it's carbon. It's just gone,
Or or we've had customers where someone rear-ended them with their bike on the rack. Mm-hmm. And then they need to, the insurance is supposed to cover both.
I feel like most of the bikes that I've seen get plowed into something on the roof usually end up okay with a couple minor things, handlebars and saddles and stuff like that. But sometimes the car doesn't end up okay if that rack is really nicely installed. Sometimes it'll peel the roof up a little bit. I think I choose roof rack. Having that plowed into something, I think my bike would be in better shape.
That goes with the chair that you're currently sitting in.
Yeah. See you guys later.
To be fair, I never said your bike was attached to the rack on the back of the car. Just your rack fall off.
Not my this or that. Somebody else did that one.
What Joey said is, I don't know. I mean, that kind of makes sense too. If you're on the highway and your rack and bike fall off the back, that's really dangerous for other people versus just going into the garage and
plowing it,
shearing it off. Then it's just your problem.
Yeah.
They're rocking out in the kitchen, man.
I've kept my headphones on, so I have not heard any of this stuff. We should be okay. We should be fine. Hey, you got anything else? Thanks, you guys.
No, it's warm in here.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you guys. This was awesome.
Didn't think about that.
I think it's pretty successful for our first road show. So thank you for allowing us to come up here and invade your day on such a beautiful day and take you away from riding your bikes. And
thank you for coming.
It's awesome.
Great to finally meet you in person, actually. Well, Chris got to meet Joey.
Yeah.
And for some shoes I've not gotten to wear yet.
Well,
we've got our own thing. It's cool.
Yeah. That was the interview date.
Finally got to meet my son in person.
Yeah.
Then he's leaving to go to the mitten.
I know, the cold mitten. It's either cold or they have bugs. Joey, you got anything else?
Minnesota.
It's with great sadness to announce that we might be the first people to announce this on something, but the Chase retires.
Yep.
The Chase?
The Chase, yeah.
What?
Right.
It's retiring?
2 hours
It is
ago.
with great sadness that I share these words with you today, but the time has come to announce my retirement from the gravel racing.
No.
There's a whole email, but it came out right in the middle while we were...
So was Unpaved its last event, or did it go somewhere else?
No, I think it did that Florida... Not this reason. It did a couple more after Unpaved.
Okay.
One after Unpaved.
So we weren't the last butts to sit on it at Unpaved.
No.
Okay.
But is it getting a replacement or anything? Have they said?
No announcement? Was there anything in there, or was it just that one's? Because they've replaced it once.
But it was red and then it was yellow, or yellow and red. I can't remember.
Mike the Kid also said at Unpaved, he said
Yeah.
something along the lines of, just keep your eyes out and make sure you make it to it because it's not going to stick around forever.
Yeah. I think he was encouraging people to make sure they took time to stop because, and I think he did actually use the words, it's not going to be around. There was something that was changing. So everybody kind of knew it was coming.
That's smart, though, I think, from a
marketing
perspective to mix it up. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do.
They'll come out with something.
I hope it's a fridge you climb in or something like that.
It's like a move down.
Yeah.
I want like an outdoor portable shower thing. And
well, with this news, then everyone needs to make sure that they stop at the kiddie pool on top of the kitten crusher.
There you go.
Kitten crusher climb.
There it is.
And get your picture there.
So that's a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brought to you by, I guess, Bike Dr. Frederick. We have two of Chris's teammates who
run the kiddie pool
and luau at the top.
And
Are
they going to have lifeguard uniforms this year?
I don't know. We'll have to check. Todd Bauer, if you're listening, it's required that you wear a lifeguard uniform this year or request it.
Yeah. It's not a kiddie pool. It's a kitty.
Yeah.
Kiddie pool. Kiddie pool. All right, guys, let's shut this thing down. Let's be done. Before we get out of here, a little preview for next week. We're going to have Kelly Paddock from Rocktown Rambler. Yeah,
my girl Kelly.
Kelly on the program to talk about her event that's coming up, which I'm registered for. I don't think anybody else is registered for that.
We are.
You are? You guys are? Awesome.
And she'll also shout out, she'll be at our event
Nice.
with Ken from Rocktown Bicycles, and she will be helping us out on Friday with some bike mechanic stuff.
Nice. Score. So it's all a big
She's a
family.
wrench.
That's the gravel family, the beautiful thing that is gravel family. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel Travel and Dirt. Our podcast is listener supported by some wonderful, wonderful people like Chris and Alex and Larry on Patreon. So you can join that family too. Go to the website and find the link and send us a little love. Our show can be found wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please take a minute to like, follow, subscribe in whatever your favorite social place is. If you're like Wes, that's probably Facebook. Wes, how can folks get in touch with us?
Get to your local coffee shop first. Get on their guest Wi-Fi. graveltraveldirt.com. Instagram at MidAtlanticGTD. Give us a phone call. Send us a voicemail. 410-231-3850. And then use the hashtag AskGTD for questions. And you can do that on Facebook and Instagram.
Anywhere. Twitter.
Is that ass or ask?
Ask GTD.
Clarification.
Oh, I've been looking at the wrong thing this whole time. That's why we have no hints.
That's why my wife's mad at me.
Mid-Atlantic Gravel Travel and Dirt is recorded this week in the Dublin Roasters in Frederick, Maryland. And it was historic Frederick, Maryland. Larry, you got anything you want to shout out before you head out? Okay.
I want to shout out they use coffee ice cubes in their coffee, iced coffee, so when it melts, it stays coffee.
It's actually still coffee.
Coffee on coffee on coffee.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye, everybody.